Scalar 2 just got its biggest point update in history to 2.7. It includes game-changing new features, new instruments, new chord sets, new performances, and much more. And the best part, it's a free update for Scalar 2 owners, and it's all coming up, so let's get into it. Hey, what's up producers? Joshua Casper here with Plugin Boutique, and it's true. Scalar just got a major update. Now, in this video, I'm gonna go through the rundown of all those changes, but join me later today at 8 p.m. UK time, where I will be joined by Scalar's creator, Davide Carbone, for a full-length live stream right here on the Plugin Boutique channel. We'll be going through everything in detail and, of course, answering your questions and even giving a couple of copies of Scalar away, so tune in even if you don't have Scalar yet. If you're a future person, you can watch the stream archive right here on the YouTube channel, but make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next one. Okay, with all of that out of the way, let's jump into what's new in Scalar 2.7. One of the biggest new features, in my humble opinion, is the new live sync feature. It allows you to set a leader instance of Scalar, which will make all the other instances of Scalar in your project followers, which means any chord, timing, or voicing changes you make in that leader instance are automatically updated in all of the followers in real time. Let me show you what I mean. All right, so here I am in Ableton Live, and I've got 4 different instances of Scalar playing something that sounds like this. What that sounds like isn't really important. What is important is this new live sync feature. So if I come in here and I'm on the top instance of Scalar in my project, I like to use the live sync on the top one, but you don't have to. If I right click the Scalar logo on the top left of the plugin, I can come into the sync options. Now, most of this was here before, but there's now a live sync feature, which if I click there and then hit start sync, it will sync all of my instances. And you can see that there are 3 other instances, and it will sync the progression builders, chords, voices, and timings. If I hit live sync and then click out, you'll see down here in the bottom right that it says leader. And if I open a second instance of Scalar, you'll see that it says follower here. I'm gonna close that for now. But what we can do is essentially any changes made down here in the C section, which is the chord builder or the progression builder, will be updated in anything. So perhaps I wanna switch out the progression here. Switch that, and really I can do anything I want. And if I play that now, you can hear that everything has been updated. You can see here that this chord has been moved. And if I take that and now put that at the end of the progression, you'll see that it's automatically updated here. And that's mirrored in all of the instances of Scalar in the project. Now, the fun doesn't stop there. Let me come into the edit page. I can also highlight, maybe I want this particular chord to come in an octave higher. And again, that octave change is reflected in all instances of Scalar that are synced. I can also do an inversion here. That will also be updated, and I can also come into timings, and let's say for all of those, I want it to play twice as fast. Any of those changes I make in this leader instance will be updated into all the other instances of Scalar. Now, this is a huge boost in workflow. Yes, I know, game changing. Another great new feature is the Generate Parallel Harmony feature, which you can get to by loading a chord in the sequencer and then right-clicking it. Here, Scalar will generate a chord progression with the interval you select, starting from the selected chord and following the chosen interval. My current go-to has to be the fifths dynamic grouping option, which automatically applies voice grouping on the generated chords. There There is also now multi-MIDI output capability in Scalar. This means you can send out each individual note of any chord or pattern to its own instrument. So think of it like the bass note of a chord getting sent to a bass instrument. Most DAWs support this, but of course Ableton Live is dropping the ball in this arena. There is a workaround, which I have covered in a separate video. I'll link to it in the video description for anyone interested, but just know it's a little bit of a hassle in Ableton Live, but most other DAWs, you should be good to go. Additional content includes sequence moods, 80s, classical, hip hop, and lo-fi chord sets, fixed bass chord sets with triad and extended options, orchestral divisi chord sets, which are intended to work well with that multi-MIDI output discussed earlier, experimental phrases and performances, and on top of that lo-fi instrument showcased earlier, there is now an orchestral bass instrument as well. There are also a bunch of improvements and bug squashes, making Scalar 2.7 a truly impressive free update to what was already an impressive VST. Anyway, as I said, David and I will be doing a full-length live stream later today where we will be covering everything in detail and answering your questions. So join us there, and in the meantime, I'm Joshua Casper. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.